Alrighty. Could Batman survive Spider-Man's villains? Now we're gonna do this just because of that brand new day trailer, low-key, because it's just fitting, right? It's like we just got the trailer, might as well see if Batman could survive Spider-Man's villains, which he can. The only one he really would have problems with is Venom and Sandman, probably. Most likely. I mean, there's more Spider-Man villains, but the main ones that we know of, Sandman and Venom, are gonna be a little bit iffy, right? I mean, Batman, like, his villains kind of match a little bit in a way, but not really. You know, Joker, Green Goblin, or something like that. Freaking Rhino, Bane, Doc Ock, whoever else you guys can think of. Sandman, Clayface, Venom, I don't know, any Batman villain that's kind of like Venom in a way. So I don't know, let's just hop straight into this. Hope you guys are enjoying the nerd science videos. Leave a like and hit that sub button if you haven't already. Look, I know you haven't hit that sub button, so you might as well do it, dude. We're trying to get to 30K here. We're like halfway through. Halfway, bro. We can do it. We can do it easy. Let's do this though. Could Batman survive Spider-Man's villains?
The Dark Knight standing motionless on a gargoyle, rain slicking off the cowl, looking down at the streets below. But the skyline is wrong. This isn't the Gothic architecture of Gotham City. It's the Queensboro Bridge in New York. Today, we're dropping Batman into a gauntlet that defies his usual logic. We aren't asking if he can beat the Joker or Bane. We know he can. We're asking if a peak human with a specific set of tactical gadgets can survive the pseudo-scientific chaos of Spider-Man's rogue gallery. Here's the scenario. Batman has
that Green Goblin
Arkham
looks
City
so
patrol
tough.
loadout.
Oh my god, that shot of Green Goblin is so fire.
Scientific chaos of Spider-Man's rogue gallery. Here's the scenario.
He's like huskier.
Batman has a standard Arkham City patrol loadout. That means smoke pellets, explosive gel, the cryptographic sequencer, and the freeze blast. But absolutely no preparation time. He does not know who he's fighting. He has no specific contingency plans for these enemies. And he has to fight them one after another without rest. This is a test of adaptability against impossible physics. The first threat is already moving through the sewers beneath him. And unlike Killer Croc, this one doesn't just bite, it evolves. Round 1.
I forgot about
Lizard.
him. Lizard.
Biological overclocking. The first opponent is Dr. Kirk Connors, also known as the Lizard. We're looking at a subject standing 6'8", weighing 450 pounds, comprised...
Why is everybody 6'8"? Is that the typical height of all these villains and heroes is 6'8"? Like, everybody's just 6'8", bro. It's just, what?
Almost entirely of regenerative reptile tissue. In a straight brawl, Batman loses. The Lizard is faster, stronger, and his tail acts as a fifth limb that Batman's martial arts forms aren't designed to counter. But the real problem here is the healing factor. To regrow an arm that weighs roughly 10 kilograms in 10 seconds, the body would need to synthesize bone, muscle, and nerve tissue at a rate that defies standard metabolic models. This process would require a massive caloric explosion, generating an immense amount of waste heat. Scientifically, the Lizard shouldn't just be hungry. He should be boiling alive from the inside out. His body temperature during regeneration would spike dangerously high. This is where the detective mode comes into play. Batman would immediately see a thermal signature that looks less like a biological organism and more like a walking blast furnace. Standard percussive strikes, punches, and kicks are useless here. You are essentially hitting a wall of meat that heals faster than you can damage it. However,
the way he's just like walking away from Batman, and Batman's just like sitting there watching him is just hilarious to me.
Batman carries the freeze blast, piece of technology derived from Mr. Freeze's weaponry.
Ooh.
This is the hard counter. Reptilian physiology is generally poikilothermic. meaning it relies on external sources to regulate body temperature. If Batman hits Connors with a supercooled cryo grenade, it doesn't just trap him in ice. It forces a systemic metabolic crash. The chemical reactions required for that rapid regeneration rely on heat. By dropping the ambient temperature of the target, Batman effectively pauses the biological engine driving the lizard's strength.
Easy.
It isn't about overpowering the monster. It's about exploiting the laws of thermodynamics to turn his own biology off. Batman survives this round, securing a Rank S survival rating because his standard kit accidentally contains the perfect kryptonite for a hyper-regenerative reptile.
Okay.
But as the sewer water freezes, the air pressure in the room suddenly drops, and the shadows start to move on their own.
Yeah, I didn't even think. Oh, we paused that at the ad.
If you're a producer who hates AI, this plugin
It was
might
like
change
perfect,
your mind. This
perfect
is
timing.
reimagined-
Yeah, I didn't even think about the lizard too. He's definitely gonna easily counter the lizard, like, right? Because Killer Croc, I know they're not the same, but they're reptiles. Like, you know, they're the same. They're the same.
Round 2, Venom. The
Yeah, how is he gonna beat
nightmare.
this? How is he gonna beat Venom
Batman
though?
climbs out of the sewers and immediately faces a threat that defies his entire combat philosophy, Venom. This isn't a man in a suit. It is a symbiotic organism bonded to a host, Eddie Brock. Scientifically, we have to analyze the symbiote as a non-Newtonian fluid.
Oh, okay. So he'll eventually figure out that the bells and the ringing can incapacitate Venom pretty easily. Batman will eventually figure that out, right? It might take him some time while he's fighting him, but there might Venom might throw him into a bell or something like that, and then the symbiote's like, then he's like, oh, okay, so you don't like sound, and then he's got like some supersonic freaking emitter gadget in his pocket or something that he just wipes Venom off the face of the earth somehow.
Specifically, a shear thickening fluid. This is a tactical nightmare for Batman. His combat style relies on high-velocity strikes and impact force. Against a shear thickening material, the harder Batman hits, the harder the suit becomes. Furthermore, Batman...
I've never heard of that for Venom. Like, I never heard that the more he gets hit, the harder he becomes. I never heard that. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if that's true. I don't know about that.
Relies on stealth, using shadows and fear to disorient opponents. The symbiote possesses 360-degree sensory awareness. It feels the environment in every direction simultaneously. There is no sneaking up on it. Smoke pellets are useless against an organism that doesn't rely on optical sight.
Batman.
Without knowledge of the symbiote's weaknesses, Batman's initial engagement goes poorly. He tries to strike, gets blocked by the fluid hardening, and takes massive damage from Venom's tendrils. This is a Rank F survival scenario. The physical mismatch is absolute. However, Batman is an observer. He would notice that the suit ripples and destabilizes when metal clashes against metal, or when sirens pass by. This brings us to resonant frequency. Every material in the universe has a natural frequency at which it vibrates. If you expose a material to a sound wave matching that frequency, the amplitude of the vibrations increases until the structural integrity fails. The symbiote's molecular bonds are notoriously unstable in the 4 to 6 kilohertz range. Batman's remote electrical charge, REC gun, or specialized sonic batarangs can be modified to emit high-frequency pulses. He likely collapses a heavy industrial structure, like a construction scaffolding or a water tower. Not to crush Venom, but to create a chaotic, deafening cacophony of crashing metal. The sonic feedback loop disrupts the symbiote's ability to maintain a solid form, turning it into a chaotic puddle and exposing the human host beneath. Batman barely escapes this encounter, likely with broken ribs and a shattered armor plate, proving that while physics can be beaten, alien biology is a brutal teacher. He limps away, but the ground beneath his boots begins to vibrate, turning into loose, shifting sand.
Yo, what if the symbiote combined with Batman? Yeah, that'd be crazy looking, right? Like, that'd be insane. I wonder what that looks like.
Round 3.
Yeah.
Sandman.
'Cause
Granular physics. The
He won't-
vibration in a
he
floor
doesn't
isn't
die,
an
so-
earthquake. The concrete itself seems to dissolve, losing its structural integrity and turning into a shifting, abrasive tide. This is Flint Marko, the Sandman. To understand why
he still got a shirt on? Why he still got a shirt on,
shifting, abrasive
if he's gonna have no pants
this
on,
is Flint
you might as well just take everything off, buddy. I was like, that looks so funny.
Marko, the Sandman. To understand why this fight's so dangerous for a martial artist, you have to look at the physics of granular flow. Sand is a unique state of matter. It acts both as a fluid and a solid, depending on how much stress you apply to it. If you pour it, it flows like water. If you compress it, the grains lock together in a phenomenon called jamming, creating a structure as hard as stone. When Batman throws a punch at Marko, one of two things happens.
Goes
if
right
he
through.
strikes loosely, his fist passes harmlessly
gets
through
stuck.
the particulate cloud, achieving nothing. If he strikes with maximum force, the sand particles instantly jam together upon impact. He isn't punching a person, he's punching a solid block of silicon dioxide. The kinetic energy doesn't transfer into the target, it reflects back into Batman's skeletal structure. Batarangs are even worse. They simply get swallowed by the mass. Even the explosive gel, a staple of the Arkham arsenal, is largely ineffective here. You can detonate a charge inside the Sandman, and while it will scatter his mass across the room, he controls each individual grain. He doesn't bleed. He just reforms. This is a scenario where brute force is mathematically impossible to apply. However, granular materials have a critical weakness. Their flow depends entirely on dry friction between particles. Batman needs to alter the coefficient of friction. He scans the environment, ignoring the giant sand fist trying to crush him, and looks for infrastructure. A New York alleyway or rooftop is full of water towers and fire hydrants. He needs water. This brings us to the science of saturation. When you add a small amount of water to sand, surface tension creates liquid bridges between the grains. This is why you can build a sandcastle. But if you fully saturate...
Here's a fun one. Guys, pretend like you're holding up the building behind you. Make sure. Yeah. That's great.
Now give her phone back.
How do y'all know each other? You friends?
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we...
Saturate the mixture, you increase the mass significantly while destroying the material's ability to act as a lightweight fluid. The water fills the void between the grains, turning the agile Sandman into heavy, viscous mud. The physics of his movement change instantly.
I mean, if it's already raining anyway, I guess he's cooked. Doesn't matter. Like, if it's raining and then Batman adds more water to him, like, yeah, I guess so. But he still won't be finished. Like, a lot of these villains, they're not going to die. Or like, there's no way for Batman to completely end them, which in a way kind of works for him because he doesn't have to worry about his no kill rule. So
he goes from a flowing storm to a sluggish pile of sludge. The weight of the water drags him down, making it impossible for him to maintain a vertical form against gravity. Once Marko is wet and heavy, his reaction time plummets. Batman, having survived the initial onslaught, utilizes the last of his cryogenic pellets or simply waits for the mud to settle into a dense, immobile heap. The fight turns from a brawl into a chemistry experiment. By changing the environmental variables, Batman removes the Sandman's ability to function as a dynamic threat. It is a rank B survival scenario. Dangerous if you try to punch your way out, but manageable if you understand that you're fighting a geological feature rather than a criminal. But
a geological
just as the mud
feature.
Settles, the wall behind Batman explodes inward, and four mechanical shadows stretch across the debris.
This is gonna be easy for him.
Round 4. Dr. Octopus, the mechanical mismatch. Out of the dust steps Otto Octavius. This is a...
Your meddling ends now.
radical shift from the previous threat.
If any of you guys are here from my Marvel Heroes Omega videos, you guys know. You guys know. Yo, meddling and blah.
This is pure engineering. Dr. Octopus is armed with 4 telescoping tentacles made of a titanium steel alloy, each capable of lifting roughly 8 tons.
Wow.
This creates a massive mechanical mismatch
8
for Batman.
tons?
In the Arkham games, Batman often uses the Batclaw to pull enemies off balance or disarm them. Against Ock, that tactic is. Let's look at the physics of torque and tensile strength. The Batclaw utilizes a monofilament cable with a high tensile rating, but it's anchored by Batman's own body weight, roughly 210 pounds plus armor. If Batman attaches a line to one of Ock's arms and tries to pull, the hydraulic PSI of the tentacle will instantly win that tug of war. Ock doesn't even need to strain. He simply retracts the arm, and Batman goes flying. The torque generated by Ock's actuators exceeds anything a human skeletal structure can withstand. If Batman tries to block a strike, the force of an 8-ton impact doesn't just break the guard. It shatters the arm bones and collapses the rib cage. The tactical problem is reach and multitasking. Ock essentially fights with 5 brains, his own plus the semi-autonomous AI in each arm. He can block attacks from 4 different directions while simultaneously striking from 4 others.
You know, I never really thought of Dr. Ock actually. I know he controls the arms, but to me, it always felt like the arms are just, they do their own thing anyway. I mean, especially from like the Raimi movies and stuff like that. When his chip gets like burnt off the back of his neck and they just do whatever they want. But then again, I'm pretty sure that like chip got burned into him kind of or something like that. So it made him connect with them even more in a way. At least I think so. So yeah, no, he's cool though. I like Doc.
Batman cannot approach him. The reach of the tentacles creates a kill zone of about 20 feet that is impenetrable to physical entry. A frontal assault is a mathematical impossibility. However, Batman excels at electronic warfare. The strength of the arms is also their weakness. They require a neural interface to function. The arms are hardwired into Octavius's spine and controlled by his thoughts. This connection relies on signal transmission. Batman pulls the remote hacking device and the disruptor from his belt. He doesn't target the titanium alloy, which is indestructible to his gear. He targets the latency of the signal. In a fight, reaction time is everything. If Batman can flood the local wireless spectrum or hack the Neuralink's frequency, he can induce input lag. By jamming the neural signal, Batman forces the arms to desynchronize from Ock's brain. The tentacles become sluggish, reacting to commands that are already obsolete. Furthermore, the arms rely on optical and thermal sensors to track targets for the AI. A well-placed disruptor shot can blind individual actuators. Once Ock is fighting his own equipment, flailing against lag and sensor blindness, Batman closes the distance.
He's gonna be like, I'm lagging.
He gets inside to reach the tentacles. Octavius is just an out-of-shape scientist. A single strike ends the encounter.
Right.
This is a rank A survival scenario. It's high risk because one hit kills Batman, but it's also his comfort zone. He knows that every machine has an off switch, and he knows exactly how to find it.
Oh, damn. You're going crazy. Oh, yeah, it's over. It's over. Look at that. Oh, you ain't gonna get the cannon. He's not gonna get the cannon, no. Yeah, oh, damn.
Round 5. Green Goblin. The psychology and chemical climax. With Octavius neutralized, the silence is short-lived. A high-pitched turbine whine cuts through the smoke, followed immediately by the acrid scent of ozone and burning propellant. This
He
is
was
the Green
flying on a
Goblin.
car.
Norman acrid scent of ozone and burning propellant. This is the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. He brings the one tactical advantage Batman struggles against most without specific preparation: total aerial superiority combined with high-yield ordnance. The physics of this...
But one thing, like, as soon as he knocks him off that, it's just going to be a hand-to-hand combat fight, and Batman definitely wins that against Green Goblin. I know Green Goblin's kind of like a super soldier in a way, but Batman will just... he'll clear him. As soon as he gets him off the glider, he'll just trip him off the glider, and then knock him out, take his helmet off, knock him out.
engagement are terrifying. A standard pumpkin bomb packs a blast yield roughly equivalent to an MK2 fragmentation grenade, but concentrated in a compact spherical casing designed for flight stability. The Batsuit's carbon-dipped tri-weave titanium plating is engineered primarily for ballistic impact and blunt force trauma, not point-blank concussive thermobarics. A single direct hit doesn't just knock Batman down. The sheer overpressure wave would rupture internal organs and shatter bone regardless of the armor's exterior integrity. Furthermore, the thermal output of the plasma release exceeds the melting point of standard Kevlar. Coupled with the Goblin glider, which moves at speeds exceeding 90 miles per hour with vertical takeoff capabilities, Batman,
look at that shot. Wait, hold on.
exceeds the melting point of standard Kevlar. Coupled with the Goblin glider, which moves
he's swaggy on that
speeds exceeding 90 miles per hour with vertical takeoff capabilities, Batman is effectively fighting a highly maneuverable fighter jet while standing exposed on a rooftop. However, this isn't just a hardware fight, it's a psychological one. Batman instantly recognizes the manic, erratic laughter echoing off the Queensboro Bridge.
Sure he does.
It's the same chaotic instability he faces with the Joker. Osborn is physically enhanced with the Goblin formula, giving him strength rivaling the Lizard, but his mind is fractured. This makes him dangerous, but it also makes him prone to arrogance. He plays with his food, swooping low to taunt, rather than maintaining a safe kill altitude. Batman needs to level the playing field. He utilizes the grapnel boost, a prototype mechanic from Arkham City that converts linear grapple momentum into massive vertical velocity. He launches himself upward, meeting the Goblin in the air. The science of the flight requires perfect stability. The glider relies on precise intake manifolds and gyroscopic stabilizers to maintain lift. A well-placed remote batarang into the turbine rotor creates catastrophic mechanical failure, disrupting the lift-to-drag ratio and fouling the propulsion. As Osborn struggles to regain control of his spiraling craft, Batman activates the Reconializer. His detective mode scans the chemical composition of the pumpkin bombs hanging on Osborn's bandolier. He identifies a volatile, chemically unstable primer. Batman doesn't need to punch Osborn, he needs to vibrate the volatile compounds. He switches his sonic emitter to a precise frequency designed to agitate the chemical bonds of the explosive primer. The goal is to trigger the munitions prematurely. He doesn't need a massive detonation, he just needs one bomb to detonate in the bag. The resulting explosion strips Osborn of his arsenal and forces a crash landing. This is a rank A survival scenario. High danger, but ultimate.
All the characters in the beginning were the ones that would take Batman out if Batman was ever to be taken out. Those Venom, Sandman, I guess the Lizard, but then again, I don't really think the Lizard. I really just think it's Venom and Sandman.
A victory of sabotage over insanity.
Surprised we didn't get Rhino.
Batman stands
I guess that's
amidst
a
the wreckage
no-brainer,
of the
right?
Sinister Five. He clears the gauntlet, but not because he's stronger. He wins because he treats every fight as a solvable physics problem. Against the Lizard's regenerative biology, he weaponized thermodynamics. Against Venom's alien resonance, he utilized sonic amplitude. He defeated Sandman's granular state with saturation, Dr. Octopus's mechanical arms with signal latency, and the Green Goblin with aerodynamic sabotage. The question isn't whether Batman can punch harder than Spider-Man's villains. It's whether they can survive a man who weaponizes the scientific laws governing their own powers. But that's just our analysis. Could Batman survive your favorite villain? Leave a comment below with who he should fight next. Until then, the Dark Knight grapples away, disappearing into the New York shadows.
Okay, so there's plenty of villains that Batman would instantly get clapped by. Okay, I mean, plenty. We don't have to list them, but you guys can list them down in the comments below if you guys want. Let me know what you guys think too. Should we play some Batman Arkham Asylum? Should we play through the Batman Arkham games? I would do that only if you guys want to see it though. Only if you guys want to see it. I was watching all these Batman freaking versus death battle things. Makes me kind of want to play through all the Arkham series again. I think that would be kind of fun. Batman easily survives Spider-Man's villains, no doubt. He just wipes these dudes like they're nothing. And they have powers and they're somewhat godlike in their own way, you know, but okay, Batman W again. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys want me to react to anything. I am willing and open to suggestions. And yeah, let's see what these nerds are talking about down here. Bruce, I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. Norman, hey, that's my line. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. You know. Isn't it possible that the symbiote would consider Batman a suitable host and take him over? Low key, probably would take him over. Venom would probably be like, yo, if we take this dude, the whole world is ours. The whole world is ours. Okay. Alrighty. GG's, boys. GG's. Thank you, Nerd Science, for another banger.